A very warm welcome to today's expert webinar on Copilot for Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations. I am Ankita from SpringPeople. We are India's largest enterprise training provider. I will be your moderator for today's session. We are thrilled to have you with us for this exciting session. Today we will explore how you can make Copilot for Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations. But before we get started, let me introduce you to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Anuj Kumar Jha. In today's session, we are honored to have Mr. Anuj Kumar Jha, who is a seasoned corporate trainer with over 12 years in IT consulting, specializing in Microsoft Dynamics ERP and Power Platform. A Microsoft certified trainer and certified Scrum Master, Anuj excels in Dynamics 365, Finance and Operations, Commerce, Business Central, and Power Platform. He has extensive experience delivering in-person and virtual training, managing projects, and working with Fortune 500 companies. His skills include SLA adherence, continuous improvement, and leading cross-functional teams. Anuj holds multiple certifications, including Dynamics 365, Finance and Operations App Solutions, Architect, and Power Platform. Now, participants, if you have any questions, please do share them in the chat box. They will be answered at the end of the session. Without further ado, let's start today's session. Over to you, Mr. Anuj.
Hi guys. Already introduction has been made. I would take you through the topic of Copilot in finance and operations, Dynamics 365 finance and operations. So you anyway, all of you know that Microsoft is pushing Copilot as a feature across. It's a product, but it's been pushed as a features across all business applications. You would have Copilot also in your own laptops, correct? As you do understand, Copilot brings the feature of the of AI, ML, and all amalgamation of the predictive predictive power assistant kind of a activity across, or the feature across the product, different products, even your Windows. Similarly, Copilot has been also been implemented and been added as a feature to the finance and operations as well. Along with that, it's not even in finance and operation, it's also part of CE, which is CRM product. Another product, BC, also Business Central, is also one of the product where you can find Copilot as well. So the Copilot specifically, now we need to understand one thing, that when I'm talking about Copilot, here I'm talking about Copilot in finance and operation. So what happens is Copilot in your laptop, right? So that Copilot is very much like your OpenAI or basically ChatGPT kind of a thing. Okay, it's across anything what you want to search. It uses the Gen AI and the overall, it is built on the ChatGPT and brings the data from there. Now with Copilot in the products of Microsoft specifically belongs to that product. So the dictionary of the product, a dictionary of the data that you get, or the explanation of the data as far as the indexing of the data is done, is part of that particular product, right? So when I say Copilot Dynamics 365 finance and operations, it is, if I may put it across, I can call it it is an AI powered assistant that basically helps to automate tasks, provide intelligent insights, productivity, increases the productivity of the organization where the finance and operation has been implemented. Similarly, in the same case with CE, which is CRM product of Microsoft, as well as BC and the Power Platform products which are available. So Copilot basically helps to streamline the processes. It makes decision based on the data which is there in the product. So in order to improve the overall efficiency. Again, I have been again it has been said. Just a minute. Yeah. So okay, let me deal a little bit more on the AI, Copilot, and then move ahead. So Copilot has specifically, I took the name of generative AI, right? So what it does is it uses generative AI driven automation, which basically it also reduces the manual efforts in overall finance and operations or this ERP workflows as well. When I say workflows, there are flows of different processes. So coming back to the ERP, see, finance and operation is an ERP. This means that it's an ERP. ERP is when we expand it, it is enterprise source planning. So basically, you plan the resources of an enterprise. When you say that, so there are a lot of planning that goes into the resources of a company. This means there are a lot of processes vis-a-vis sales process, purchase process, and then multiple processes. These days, the ERP processes are not even within the application, but also spans across to the other third-party applications as well. So usage of, for example, again, Power Automate. You can integrate the Power Automate. You anyway, I'm assuming everybody is aware of Power Automate. So it's a part of a Power Platform which allows the workflow within the Microsoft Business application, also to the third party as well. So you can basically create your own power flow just by through Copilot, just asking it to create a certain power flow / Power Automate any of this thing, and directly you can create a flow out of it. So I'm just giving an example. Okay, so similarly, if you have an issue with the within the, say you don't know how to create a purchase order within say finance and operation, you can easily type it in the system. I'll show you in a while. I'll type it in the system and say let me know the process of creating a purchase order in, say, finance and operation supply chain. Okay. Similarly, if there are the new applications that has been added, like demand forecasting. I will not be able to show you demand forecasting, but I have certain some screenshots of it. How does it looks like? So there, basically, the forecast, basically it tells you the forecasting or the what will happen next with respect to whatever historical data that you have in your ERP, enterprise source planning, right? So it basically go through those historical data, and whatever it thinks of it, it gives an insight over it and tells that this is such and such demand forecast would be in such and such future. So it basically looks into the data and also gives you an insight as well. Okay. Yeah, these are some of the things that I wanted to okay. In this slide, if you see, AI powered integrated to finance and operation, it automates tasks and enhances efficiency, real-time insights, and leverages natural language processing. This I was talking to you about for the user-friendly interactions. Okay. Overall, so key features, whenever you look into the key features basically involve around the conversational AI query, AI driven automation, predictive insights. Predictive insights is the most important part. This is what I basically think is something that Microsoft is pushing a lot into this ERP, because overall the Copilot, when you also use a Copilot in a normal laptop, like in the Windows, you basically want to get the data about something, right? So in order to, because we have so much data across web, internet, that when you want a certain answer to a question, it should summarize the overall data for you, right, among all the different avenues which are there. Similarly, the insights within ERP is important, because there is so much data in terms of, say, HR data, connected data I'm talking about, in HR data or the financial data, say some resources data. These things are there. How do they connect to each other to give you a proper, like, indicative or an insight over a particular process, right? If you say a customer, so if you want to know about a customer, what the customer has done or not, for that, what you need to do is you need to earlier we had to create certain forms or certain facts, and then from there we used to get the data. No, now it's easier, because it just reads through, or it gets the data from the different data avenues, from different tables which are associated with the customer, say invoices, say say collections and all these things, and then it gives you a proper statement. So the customer such and such has such and such orders, such and such is the is supposed to be paid, and all this information it comes up as a form of summary. So it's all the insights or that basically comes up before the for any kind of a data, say customer purchase or a vendor or something like that. Other things are automated journal entry, recommendation, intelligent document processing, analysis. This basically deals more from the Power Platform integration with the finance and operations side, and conversational AI. Anyway, you can always have a conversational way, like conversational with the conversation with the finance and operation, and get a proper results for the data. Primarily, the types of Copilot experiences that we basically are here is sidecar, embedded, automation. Sidecar is basically more towards the on the right hand side. Let me see if I can show you quickly. Yeah. Okay. So you have sidecars. Okay, it's a sidecar with the data and information. I'll come back to this, but it's mostly, if you see in a finance and operations, you will find Copilot information here, and you can basically pull up the data from the right hand side as well. The panel. Okay. Other things being is embedded, which is summaries I was talking to you about. For example, if I click a purchase order here, so this will give you a simple summary here. Okay. Right. So that's what I meant. So this is, and at least it's giving some data here. So that's what is about the summary. So summary will be from various different avenues. If I go to item, if I just hover over the item, it'll give me the summary over the item as well. Right. Categorized product currently is an active status. So basically, it's embedded within the application as well. Automation driven Copilot workflow. When I talk about this is basically what I was talking to you about. When you integrate the Power Automate and try to do the automation based on the workflows, that is basically when we deal with this during that kind of an activity. Yeah, this is something I wanted to tell you. Okay, so Copilot sidecar. So this I have basically taken the diagram from Microsoft. I don't want this one and the cost summary feature because I didn't want it to give you wrong information because Microsoft keeps changing. By the way, there is a 43 or feature number. Sorry, the update has come up just this month, and a lot have changed in Copilot as well. So I'm just wanted to have the latest diagram from the Microsoft website. So this is something from there I have picked up. So this basically tells you about the feature, how it basically exists. So if you see, you have finance and operation as, by the way, the Copilot, when you are using it, Copilot is not basically integrated directly to the finance and operation. It is part of the Power Platform offering, and in the Power Platform offering, it is basically provides as an interface between Power Platform and the finance and operations, and then you are able to use it. So for you to be able to use the Copilot, this Power Platform integration must be enabled. Usually, earlier it was not enabled by default. Now it is enabled by default. Now, if you see the other things like overall, the Copilot which you use is basically part of the offering of the Dynamics 365 application. When I say 365 applications, Microsoft has multiple applications in the Dynamics 365 the business application suite, which include the finance, operations. In operations also, for example, you have different products: supply chain, commerce, project operations. I think it's moved on to CE, but you have HR products. So all the other three products are there within the operation itself. From the CE side, you have sales, marketing. Marketing's name has changed to customer insight journey. You have customer service, field service. There are other Dynamics 365 applications. So they are, even Copilot is enabled for them. Okay, so basically they use the same infra for the architecture. Let's not call it infra, let's call it architecture for the whole Dynamics 365 application. The same thing is being is being used from the Power Platform integration to the finance and operation app. We and see, at the end of the day, we are we are coming to the Copilot Studio, which is which is available for everyone, correct? So even what you're using in a laptop or any other application, right? So that is a Copilot Studio. See, at the end of the day, it's the same. But when you go into more into applications or Microsoft product base, it becomes more or less focused on the product of Copilot, right? So this is the overall Copilot for the Copilot Studio that you have. And this is the Microsoft Azure OpenAI, which basically allows the Copilot to be used. Like they are basically part of the same architecture. So basically, what I meant is Copilot Studio, Microsoft Azure OpenAI is there as the infra, and over top of it, you have for the applications, you have a separate Copilot specifically for Dynamics 365. In that also, you have a Copilot for finance and operation apps. Okay, yeah, this is the architecture. And if you see, for generative answers, generative AI is to be enabled and push forward with AI features that needs to be there. Then again, this portion is more or less on a larger architecture side. I will not go much deep in that, but this portion is important because this portion basically tells you that it's part of the big whole epic as a small story. Yeah. Okay, the summary feature that you get within the applications, so the sidecar feature is the one that you're getting, and the summary that I was showing you, summary basically, again, this remains the same, right? So you have a feature management through which you enable the feature. So one more interesting thing is, like, you don't need, so there are different types of summaries in the I'll come back to those summary features which are there one by one. I'll deal with it in a while. So all these summaries that you see here, I will be showing you in a while. All these summaries can be enabled, disabled as per the requirement by the customer, right? So you do not need to enable everything. So one thing what I have felt is that if you try right now, it's the speed is pretty good, the performance. But you open a lot of Copilot features are there open when you enable them. When you open the form, it basically tries to refresh, right? Refresh the portion of the summary. So it does hits a lot of performance. So Microsoft allows the customers to enable, disable whatever features they actually require or not require as per their usage. And by the way, there are very less number of features that are still available for Copilot. There are a few more that has come in preview, but yes, more will be added as far as the time goes by. So if you see here, same. The only thing is feature management added as a layer, which basically tells you to enable, disable the feature. And the end of the day, it's a part of the Azure OpenAI, where basically it whatever the region is you are supported to, it's basically takes it gets the appropriate information, data, how to use it for the feature purpose for your finance and operations. This is the feature component which is there in the Copilot for summary feature component, which is there in the finance and operations. Right now, if you see features, we have, okay, understand the fact that when I say finance and operations, again, I'll repeat, finance and operation has primarily, again, 4 products, which is finance, operations has supply chain, HR and commerce as the 3 different products. I'm not sure about the project operations, whether there's another product called project operation, but it keeps coming added to the finance and operation, or it goes to the CE. So I'm not sure about that. But for these 3, I know operations basically means the supply chain, HR, and the commerce as of now. I'm just taking these 3 into consideration. Now, so for all finance and operation apps, there is a Copilot feature. Specific features are also available for the specific apps. So mostly when we deal with the ERP and implementation, everybody here who are part of the finance and operation, we only mostly implement finance and the supply chain. So I'll use only these 2 examples. So by the way, you need to understand that there is another product called Microsoft Finance. That's a separate product. Okay. That's not the Dynamics 365 product, so let's keep that aside. But Dynamics 365 for finance is there, and Dynamics 365 supply chain management. I'll only deal with Dynamics 365 products. Dynamics 365 finance product, supply chain, and overall finance and operation apps. How does it look like? So for all finance and operation app, you have different types of okay, so you have different types of different features that are available for them. Okay, again, depends on the kind of depends on what kind of different features are currently available for this particular overall operations. So if we talk about the generative help, and guidance with Copilot. It's basically on your right hand side. You can basically ask for any guidance with the Copilot. For example, if I ask here how to create a purchase order in 65 SCM. I hope it answers. I was just checking a while back. It was not giving me any result. Okay, so it's an AI generated content it has created to create a purchase order, blah blah blah. You need to go to these steps, and these things will be there available for you. Okay, this thing is some of the you can basically use generating help and guidance with the Copilot. Other things being is the workflow history summary. This is important. It's interesting. So you all know what workflows are. I will not. Okay, let me just give you a very quick example. What exactly workflow is? Workflow. Everybody knows that workflow is basically for what? Workflow is basically for your you have a process. Say you have purchase order, and you want that purchase order to be processed. Once you confirm the purchase order, post that the process should be automated for different avenues wherever it'll ask. So for that purpose, you create a workflow process, a workflow for the purchase order. Similarly, take another example. You have fixed asset. Okay, so for the fixed asset, you have created a fixed asset, but you want now the journal to be so. For example, fixed asset associated, you need to acquire a fixed asset, and in that fixed asset, you have say say a particular amount of money is there required for purchasing the fixed asset, and you have different categories. Say till $1,000, it's approver one, $2,000 plus $500 approver two, and so on. So you can create a workflow with different kinds of different kind of user approvals and all. So basic. So just wanted to give you a little background of the workflow. So in fact, in the workflow also, it tells you the summary of the workflow, how the workflow submission was being done. I had a workflow submission here. Let me just check. Actually, that resulted in a an error. But fine. Let me just check quickly. Workflow ID. Yeah. Let's go to the instance of that workflow. It's only showing me the error one. Okay, so workflow indicate that submission will currently the status of the workflow stop attributed. It will give me the error. Let's check with something which is success completed. Okay. Let's say this one. So it will say something like this, approval being done. Okay, so something like this. I'm just, yeah. So approvals and all those information will be shown. If it is a pending, for example, so it will show me the summary of the data of the workflow. Okay, that is something there. Okay, so this is I just wanted to show you people that the workflow summary that can be summary that can be used for. Other things being is finance. So one of the major thing that happens, okay, one of the major thing if you know that important in any finance is right. So the customer buys from you, right? So but you need the customer to give the money to you, right, or go back customer collection. So there must be a coordinator in the collection department who will basically be collecting the money per se. So for example, I know all of you, right? If you do not if you do not pay back your credit card bill, so you still keep getting calls from the customer, right? So there is a collection department in most of all the companies where the customers they have like where the customer need to be are part of the companies anyway. The customers can be a customer also. A customer can be a business to business kind of a deal as well, where the other business which you are selling is also your customer. So it can be a B2B, B2C, but at the end of the day, the business itself is a customer, or you have a standalone customer as well. So in that way, for the collection department, for them, it's very important and necessary for them to be able to coordinate with the coordinate for the collections. So we use this feature to get the summary of the customer's overdue invoices, payment history, remaining credit, all those days. So for this, there is a workspace. Let me close this, right? would need this. Where was it? Collection coordinator. Yeah. So in this workspace, basically you can go here and check for a customer. Say I'll just use this customer because I have too much of data there. So customer details. No, see, so customer there. So if you see, there are some. Okay, so if you see, there are some key here, key points. Select test customer. The customer name has a payment history of dash. The customer has been sent dash in previous dash. So basically, it basically creates a statement with the data that is available for the customer from the respective tables, and it puts the data, they index and get the data from different related tables, whatever tables are there as per as the algorithm, and they added the data into this paragraph. That's how the summary basically works. This customer balance is due of dash, to be paid, of which dash is overdue. When I'm saying dash, it means that it is getting the summary or the summarization or the summation of the data. The last payment receipt of the amount is this, and remaining amount is this. So this is something in a way that it basically gives you a proper data as well, right? So you can create a reminder email also. It will create an automated email saying that this much is left, you need to pay, and you can send the email directly to the customer also. So for the collection coordinator, it's very easy for them to get the account information. It can help them to make better decision about the customer, and also if create have so and also need to and also will have an increased efficiency as well. So think about the fact that earlier the coordinator, you need to have all the tables in front of them, data of the tables. Then they will mix and match, or else they need to get a report of all such data, and then they need to go to the Excel, and then basically they need to see, okay, this customers, this much is due in this much amount of time. So this will basically take their a lot of time. So it's better in a way like it summarizes about a customer, for example. So this is one of the easiest way for the customer coordinator also to work. Another one is customer page summary. Okay, this is selection and customer. So customer page summary, basically I was just letting you a while back. It's very simple. In a customer, whenever you open a customer, let's open a customer. This basically will give you all the information of the summary of the customer. So the data and insight both way. Okay, so if you see the sorry, let me the Copilot will help the company using the finance and operation with these kind of activities. Or basically, let me rephrase, the Copilot helps the finance department with any kind of such information about the customer. Say even for the supply chain people also who works with the customer orders, or for them also it's good. So these are some of the things that basically helps the organization to summarize, get the status and insight, rather than looking into data one by one and then coming to a conclusion. It gives you a conclusion also. Okay, but by the way, there is always a caveat. AI generated content may be incorrect, so don't take decisions blindly. But so that doesn't happen now, but initially it was in preview stage. So but now this particular feature is not in preview. It's GA. It's globally available. So it is, you can rely on it. That's not a problem. But yeah, but still, even if you Google search, right? So when you Google search something there, and they give you, say their AI based answer, it will say there also, like it will write it there, a disclaimer, it's an AI generated content, may be incorrect, so something like that. So this is anyway available. Yeah. So next thing I want to discuss is about the supply chain management. I will not discuss all of them. The problem with me is I will not be able to show the demand forecast, which is again demand forecast is another application through which I would have shown you. I did get a screenshot which I can help you out. I can show you. But yes, if you talk about the demand, supply chain, AI summaries is important. We have like inventory preview is important, and other things are important which are part of the offering from the supply chain. By the way, inquiry into the inventory is in preview, so that is something new. Then we have review and accept changes. That is again a part of the process. One of the workspaces we need to take is there where you can do this activity. Let's see. So I'm dealing with inquire into inventory and AI summaries together, so that is easier for me to show. So inquire into inventory or AI summary, basically the same. When you talk about AI summary, it is summary across all, which is customer, maybe customer, maybe vendor, maybe the inventory, and all these will be there. Let me just show you the easily something here. Let's take purchase order itself. I think I did show you the summaries, the inventory one. So by the way, what all different summaries are there? AI summaries. This is one of the summary, but one thing is there. So you have the product summary like you have here. Okay, let me open an inventory product. Release product is there, right? Yeah, my bad. I wanted to just open. Let's take example of this test product that I created. Yeah. So wherever the places where we have AI summaries are the product summary. Okay, the product summary can be this kind of summary as well, and there's another summary like if you go to any product. I think it will not show here an item number. No, let me show you one more place. Say purchase order. Let's open this purchase order. If I go here and hover over it, it will show me the summary here as well. While hovering, it will show me summary of the Copilot, categorization, subtype, product is actively managed, life cycle. This is one thing. Other is the one that I was showing you as a release product. In the release product, you have the product details. This is a details summary, right? This is one. This is another. This second thing. Third one is directly to see the purchase order summary. These are some of the AI summaries available in. So this is a purchase order summary, which is there, right? Anything else I've added? Yeah. So similarly, you have with the sales order summary also available, and the customer and the vendor summary. So there are around 6 different summaries which are available for the AI summaries, which I was talking to about for this thing. In fact, the inquiry into inventory is also a kind of this information only. So yeah, just wanted to let you know that. Inquire again into the AI inquire into inventory is basically you want to know about the inventory as well. So we generally can go here, go this place to this place and get the information about this information about the item inventory. Right. There's no data to be summarized. There's no sales done on this one. This is the demand forecasting. In demand forecasting, what it does do is it's another application which is associated with it. So it's not enabled in the test environment that I'm showing to you. So since I can just show you in a screenshot. So in this demand forecasting, and what is demand forecasting? Demand forecasting is the forecasting of the future demand of a product, of an item, as with respect to the previous orders, which include purchase, sales, inventory movement, or whatever is the orders. Using that, it basically creates a demand forecast. So Copilot also helps you, since whatever I said means that you have to create a kind of a assumption that what will happen, say, in next 6 months, 1 year, with respect to the historical. For this, Copilot is the best thing. Or example, Copilot like /AI ML is the best thing to evaluate that. That's what Copilot is basically doing, helping you out with. So whatever is the date range, for example, this and this. So it is giving me a data that it's whatever is shifts. What are the shifts from this to this date? What are trends? What are outliners? Outliners are what are something out of the normal forecast, and what are the deviations? What are different deviations that can happen? So these things you can basically get as an information from the through the Copilot for the demand planning as well. So this is one of the things that is basically demand forecast, also demand forecast in the for the supply chain. Copilot also can help you out with your data. And last but not least, this one is the confirmed purchase order with changes. So any kind of confirmation of the purchase order happens, and so in that way, so basically this it exists in the workspace called confirm purchase order with changes. Okay, so it doesn't have too much of information here, but yeah, these two purchase order I just created in order to check what kind of changes are can be there. So any low impact changes were no, any high impact changes no, and impacted downstream orders. It didn't affect any of the downstream orders as well. So summary changes made to the purchase order line with downstream impact. There are the total change order for 0 line. Let's go to the screenshot and get a proper data. But if you see, this summary itself is a Copilot enabled or AI generated enabled content, right? So here, if you see, uh, for these, say there's summary of changes made to the purchase order with low downstream impact. So there are some of these ones which may be affecting some of the different items here with whatever is it high impact changes also. This is summary to show that there is a high downstream impact over the where if the confirmed purchase orders are not moving ahead, right? Similarly with the downstream, maybe it's a project based, it's a marking based, or whatever is a peg based. But so sales order, so that also is basically being shown as an impact. So all the confirmed purchase order, whatever changes that are changes what are happening, what kind of different impact that will have on on the downstream, maybe a low impact, maybe a high impact, or maybe the other orders which are associated with the purchase order itself, right? So that's what it basically gives you with the as an information. So that's the most that you can have here in the Copilot as well. Let me, yeah. So what we did here is I took you through the journey of the Copilot, right? When I took you to the journey of the Copilot, you should understand that Copilot is embedded natively in Dynamics 365. It works through the AI-powered interface. You have sidecar experience on the right-hand side. You have workflow automation. You can have another thing that you can have the integration with the Power Platform as well. With times, there are a lot of the other deeper insights that you can also create using the Copilot. Okay, and also there are a lot of future enhancement coming over also. We'll see that as well. But overall, if you see, the Copilot basically is basically helping the finance and operation teams to streamline their process, they make their data-driven decisions properly, and also to improve the efficiency. So in benefits, if you see, you have more improved accuracy and efficiency, reduce manual workload and error, faster decision making with AI insights. Compliant and risk management is important because the data which you get is mostly based out of the region where you are basically using. So that is something, again, it's important. And the seamless user experience, because you can basically converse with the application with a normal natural language, right? That's the benefits of the Copilot. Use cases, where all it can be used, I've already discussed with different use cases, but we can just revisit. Automation or invoice processing and reconciliation as a part of the workflow information that it provides. Predictive cash flow management, that we have seen it, we did see the collection side. Intelligent expense reporting and approval, whatever is the summary will give you different kinds of transactions over the purchase order, what is the what exactly is the overall information on the, say, a customer on an order. It will give you an information. Then you have AI powered planning and analysis. It's basically the demand forecasting that basically will help you. And not only that, also analyzing the finance side of it, maybe say journals, maybe say invoices and all things that can summarize and give it to you in a proper understandable way. So that's how basically it helps the people who are at the business side, business process owners or the BPOs which are there in the companies. It helps them as well. Other thing is smart data extraction reporting. So smart data extraction reporting is basically based out of the Power BI side, but yes, I'll not go deep in that side. But these are some of the use cases for the Copilot. In conclusion, what does Copilot does it? Copilot basically transforms your financial management with AI. It enhances the efficiency, accuracy. I've already discussed this a lot in this session. So accuracy is important because it now gives you a direct information from the tables, respective tables. Earlier, what used to happen is you need to earlier people used to, earlier what we used to do a lot is, even now we are also doing, we used to create reports. Then we used to do customizations to add them and then give a proper report, or else the the business process owners used to extract the Excel and then basically need to they used to look into the Excel and see how the data is basically being churned up manually, or maybe they may use the Copilot also of the Excel also to do it. But there these some of these basic facility at least of this kind of thing is basically provided in the application itself. Game changer for modern finance and operation, yes, because all the products, ERPs or non-ERP products, are going towards more AI driven. So it also helps the product to be more enhanced based on the predictive analysis, based on the OpenAI or any kind of an AI engine that you may have. Other things are organization can leverage the Copilot for strategic growth anyway. Microsoft is anyway pushing Copilot everywhere, right? So that's the conclusion of it. Yeah, guys. So if you have any queries, let me know. Let me see if anybody has put down some questions. Okay, there's no questions.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Anuj, for such an engaging and insightful session. Now we will open the forum to answer questions that we may have received during the session. So let's get our questions answered. Over to you. Over to you, Arjun. Anuj, sorry.
Yeah. Guys, I know this seems a little smaller. It's this overall this is a very small presentation, but keep in mind that Copilot is still in is in process of um, like Microsoft is still working on it in order to provide Copilot features to all the customers. There's still a lot of problems coming up but Microsoft is still finding it pretty not. Microsoft is still trying to get at most or to get the information passed on, or the I'm sorry, let me rephrase that, to get the overall Copilot related features to be available for all their customers. So they are trying level best to provide the best possible features. So right now 60% I will say is more on the summary stage, where most of the summaries are being used. Fine. So that's just something Microsoft has been doing. I think the future is really bright for the Copilot for at least for few weeks, few months. It is still in the nascent stage, I will say again. Right now, it is in a stage where Microsoft is still working on it to improve upon any kind of feedbacks that is received. By the way, you can also provide the feedback if your sister companies are using. So you can use the Copilot feedback feature to provide the feedback, whatever problems that you are facing with the Copilot. That is something important for Microsoft as well. For example, some of the new features were introduced just recently with the new updates. So these things are in the process. So like I told you, one of the feature was preview. So if you want to check, let me see. I don't have it. I don't have that. Just if you want, if you can just Google search the Copilot for finance and operations. There you will find the new feature that has been added, or the new feature is coming in the future. I have not dealt with the features mostly which are preview, just because the reason that preview features are basically Microsoft has introduced them, but they don't take much. They don't take responsibility if anything goes wrong. That's another thing of it. So, if your companies are using ERP, finance and operations, even CE, try to use as much as possible the Copilot, so that what happens is it basically teaches your Copilot also how to manage the data, how to manage your day-to-day activity, right? So that also basically helps. It help your product as well. As I told you, Copilot for finance and operation is Copilot for finance and operation. It's not the Copilot for the internet web, right? So that is something. It's specific to the data which is there in your finance and operation. Similarly with the CE, similarly with the other Microsoft products. Yeah, I know I've been talking a lot. If you have any questions, please do let me know. I'll go on mute.
Okay, thank you everyone. We appreciate you being here. We shall be sending out the webinar recording to all you participants soon. I request you to kindly provide feedback before signing off, which will help us improve the quality of our future events. Thanks again for joining us today. Signing off on behalf of Team Spring People. I hope to see you again for our expert webinar. Take care. Bye.